I've got a problem. When a person says they haven't read a book since high school, there's sort of an understanding that, hey, that's maybe not a great idea. I mean, like, I understand I don't enjoy reading, but the way I've described it to other people is I do enjoy the person that reading has made me into. And I wouldn't want to go back to a life where I wasn't reading, because I got so much enrichment from reading other people's ideas. But if you say, I've never played a video game, or I haven't played a video game in 10 years, that's not really something anybody bats an eye at. And that's the problem that I have, because I've dedicated my life to the good things that video games can do. And certainly there's a bunch of dumb things video games can do, which is part of why I went into making video games as my life's work. But since it's taking forever for me to build video games of my own to show you, I'm going to take some recordings of video games that I've played that I feel like you might be missing out on if you're not somebody who plays video games regularly. Now, this first one isn't high literature or anything. It's pop culture. It's Star Wars. But I think even among people who have seen movies in the Star Wars universe, you're missing out if you haven't played some of the video games. I think the video games contribute a lot of interesting texture and cool life experiences. Not necessarily deep ones, not deep life experiences, but cool ones. Enriching. This video was originally created for a channel that I was going to put together that was going to be exclusively me playing video games. Life has proven to me since then that I do not have the energy to have an entire channel dedicated to recordings of video games. So I'm adding it to my main channel here because I think you'll enjoy it. If you're someone who cares about imagination and seeing what sort of things you might be missing out on. All right, here we go. All right, so let me show you a Star Wars game called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It's about when the Jedi Order falls. I'm making this video for people who have seen other parts of the Star Wars universe, either in the movies or the TV shows, but maybe you don't get to play video games very often. So I think there's some really cool parts in the video games. I don't know how much of them are considered canon. I don't know if there will be parts from the video games that show up in the real world, or excuse me, like in the movies and the TV shows. But there's definitely some crossover, like Saw Gerrera, I believe the character's name is, from Rogue One is in this game, and when the Inquisitors showed up in the Obi-Wan show, I was like, oh, I've seen those, I fought against those, I played them in the Jedi Fallen Order game. So there's a bunch of fun experiences like that. And if you're not going to play the games, I think it's neat to at least see some of the experiences. Here on the menu page where we're about to start a new game, you can see a busted up Star Destroyer from the Clone Wars era, at least I think. If I get any of this stuff wrong, I apologize. I'm not a Star Wars buff. I'm just someone who has taken in the media. And I'm not sure if this is in reference to the opening of the game, but the part I want to show you, the part that I most care about showing you, is you're this Jedi who's been hiding out. If you've seen the Obi-Wan show, you know it's not easy. You gotta there's almost no place to hide. And this is a Jedi who's got a job ripping Star Destroyers apart for scrap. And I think they talk about that they're building the next Star Destroyers out of it. I can't remember. I don't know if I've made that up in my head or if that's something they actually say. But I've always wanted to show people, so we're gonna start the game. That's the main character there. That's the meditation pose that you go into whenever you're going to upgrade your character's abilities, get more force powers and lightsaber swings and so forth. I just love that. The first movie ever, the first Star Wars movie ever, you know, you start underneath a Star Destroyer. And in this one, you see a Star Destroyer being ripped apart. And if you've seen the movies, you got a pretty good sense of why that might be. But it was certainly something I never thought of until I played this game.
Listen, I don't want to upset your rhythm, Cal, but the boss wants a word. You'll be good for us. Here he is, Chief.
An error has been detected on line 10A. All our clamps are jammed. I need 2 workers to climb up and secure the cables.
That's not an easy maneuver.
The guild will double your pay for this shift.
Come on, Cal. What's your score? That couldn't hurt. Huh?
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Get to work.
This way.
I'm right behind you.
All right. So I've got control of the game now. I can sort of look out into the world and see all these different little set pieces in the background. Little things flying in the back. There's pieces of Star Destroyers being moved around and so forth. I love this stuff. It's fun to put into games too. Even in the little game-inspired meditation worlds that I've built on my other channel. It's real fun putting things in the background to sort of add to the atmosphere, add to the experience. So I also really liked that we started in an engine. They sort of zoomed us in and we're overlooking the whole scrapyard, but we're in an engine. It's being scrapped out, and just I love the notion of how much work goes into one of these things. You know, the 8th movie, Star Wars Episode 8, talks about the war profiteering of creating the weapons of war, the weapons of Star War. But you get to look at it in this one. You get to sort of take your time if you want to. Teaching me things. I gotta get up there. It's letting me know. Some characters that are talking to each other you can't understand. Oh.
The guild keeps cutting into my wages.
You gotta take on more jobs. You can't just sit here collecting a paycheck.
It's just so dangerous up there.
Of course the work is dangerous. You're a rigger.
What if I screw up, take a fall? I got a family to worry about.
A rigger with a family? Oh, friend, you've made some poor life choices.
Ha! Tell me about it.
So this is pretty common, even in games that aren't really necessarily role-playing games. You'll hear characters who are talking to one another. In role-playing games, you could always walk up to people and they'd be talking to one another. And it was sort of strange. It was like, why are they saying these things? That's not what a real conversation is like. But the idea is supposed to be like, oh, you're overhearing people talking some of the time, and it's a way to add atmosphere and ideas in. And in this one, they actually just stated the theme of the opening, which you'll see sometimes in movies. Characters will innocuously talk about what the theme is. And in this one, it's, oh, better not have people you care about on this job. It's real dangerous. And what you're gonna find is it's real bad that he cares about somebody. I'm gonna spoil it just a little bit. He's gonna lose his cover. This is not a whole game about scrapping Star Destroyers. It's a game about, oh no, I blew my cover. Now I gotta go be a Jedi again. So how's that gonna happen? Well, it happened because he cared. It's part of what they talk about in the Obi-Wan series. Jedis are real easy to find because they just care about people so much.
Them Clone Wars were fierce. Can't be more than a few years old. Yeah, aged worse than you did, though. Guess you can't stop progress.
Guess you can't stop progress. This ship is a few years old, they're saying. This is straight out of the Clone Wars. And they're already breaking it down. I've been learning a bit about society and how we build things and how we build cities and how we build our homes. And one of the biggest things that I didn't understand was how costly repairs and replacements are. That you know, when we're repaving the roads and so forth, well, it's so expensive. It's so expensive to replace our sewers. It's interesting, this notion of it was a perfectly good spaceship, we're gonna rip it apart, and you'll see that sometimes for the bad guys.
Don't worry about it.
Bad guys will be doing pointless, wasteful things. They were talking about how, there's a drawing somewhere that Hitler had done of like he was going to remake such and such city, and all it is the same, but with a bunch of stupid, even bigger monuments that would have made it even more difficult for people to live there. So, it's real interesting to me this time around. First time around, I was like, oh, this is real cool. We're inside of Clone Wars Star Destroyer. And this one is like, oh, man, these freaking people. They just love wasting your time. Keeping you busy. Alright. I was looking at all the pipes and
enough to
things.
salvage live munitions.
Can't spend money if you're dead.
Them crazy riggers can't seem to understand that.
You should get that checked out.
Sure, it's nothing.
I like that. We that's how we talk to one another. Hey, oh, that's a minor health problem. You should pay attention to that, etc. People care about each other.
tools are gonna make it through the shift.
You say that every time.
After you, kid.
Remember the old days when the guild serviced our gear?
Yeah, those were the days.
This Imperial contract is Bantha Poodoo. Got us paying to maintain our own equipment.
Hey, clamp it. Never know when one of those droids are listening.
Yeah, see, that's real shitty. Even the maintenance people have to take it out of their own pay to keep their tools in order. That's just, oof, that drives me crazy. I got my sister's in repair, and that stuff happens. She's allowed to bring her tools from place to place because of that, but employers, care about your people. Don't be an employer if you don't care about people. So that's my friend there, who is basically sort of coaxing me along so that I'm not getting lost. I'm not. This is not how long it takes to go through this level. I'm going real slow and just I love taking in all of the sights on this one. But realistically, you can go boo 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 and just run around and do all the things that it's asking you to do. We got a little bit of a cutscene here. I don't have control.
Will you look at that? A separatist ship. I haven't seen a Luke or Hulk in ages.
Yeah. Ages.
Breaking her will be big
Remember those
money.
from episode 1? Luke or Hulk.
All right, let's go.
Same scrapyard. It's gonna rip apart the ships from both sides. It's real neat. It's real neat. It's not what the game's about, but it's some neat comments on this world. All right, so this right here, I'm gonna have to squeeze through that. I'm just gonna look around real quick. See if there's anything interesting. So I learned a great thing in this game that I thought was real neat. There's a thing called the 5-room dungeon. It's for Dungeons and Dragons. It's a mental construct that is like a planning tool that was created by a guy named John Four. And the idea is your dungeons don't need to be these huge sprawling things. There's sort of 5 events that happen in this order. And the first event is the Guardian. It doesn't have to be a fight, but it needs to be something that's keeping out most people. And that's why nobody has gone on this adventure yet. It's basically the idea that adventure is everywhere, but most people aren't skilled enough or brave enough or something enough to take that on. So all these people, while we were walking up here, have been talking about, these people who are going to go and do these crazy things on the Star Destroyer for extra money. They're crazy. You can't spend that money if you're dead. And so I'm going to squeeze through here. Right, this is the Guardian. I'm going to squeeze through here.
Heads up!
And look at this. Danger, danger, dangerous.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Ladder's out, though. Gonna have to find another way.
Yeah, no
Another
problem.
way.
I'll improvise.
See you there, pal.
See, if you find these red stripes, these red things, that's usually an indicator. Usually the games will have some sort of indicator of hey, it's over this way. So I can slide down here. I'm safe.
Depart
And then
this barge immediately.
make sure that I don't fall off.
You are not approved trash.
And trash?
I like the interactions, too, with the droids after watching The Mandalorian. Because in The Mandalorian, he's like, oh, no, I don't work with droids. I don't work with droids. And a little slight spoiler for The Mandalorian. The reason is because he lived through the Clone Wars, and so droids came into his town and didn't, ransack the place. And I've always thought, were they trying to tie up this loose end from A New Hope from episode 4 from the first movie? Were they trying to say like that's why the bartender wouldn't serve the droids in the Mos Eisley cantina? I don't know, but I like the idea of, you know, you walk that guy's age back, and yeah, he probably had some bad run-ins with droids. He probably has an opinion on them, and I think it's interesting watching the interactions of people during this era and the way droids treat them and they treat droids. Just look at all these panels. So much detail. So we gotta find... Metal is still hot on that one. Drop down here. What can I do? This is one of those times where I'm genuinely stuck. All the other times before, I've been sort of just taking my time. Oh, I see it now. I'm on a different monitor than usual. I have 2 monitors, and the color is different on this one, but this one is the right size to record it, to record the game. There's ships flying inside the ship. Love that. And I couldn't see that little... I still can't see it. A little yellow rope that I used to jump across. The other monitor, the one I use all the rest of the time. It's not, if you know, it's not HD. It's just slightly not HD. It's not the right size. It's not 16 by 9. It's 16 by 10. If those numbers mean anything to you. It's not 1080p. It's 1050p.
Just passing through.
Careful, stabilizer's out. Kilo Tominos. I told you to replace the stabilizer. Oh, you fixed it.
But it's a great monitor. It's a great monitor. I got it back in 2004. 2004! I won a contest. It's an Apple monitor, and it's been great. I still have not had a better monitor than that.
Taste the credits. It's gonna be a wild night tonight. Let's get this job done.
Look for the red. Look for the red. Aha! So see, this is why I can defeat the Guardian of parkour. I can parkour my way around.
Reckless cow.
Good to see you.
You too. Don't get yourself killed.
That's the idea.
This I love. They did something like this for Meditation Worlds. Big old chasm like this. Very cool. I mean, they show you bits of the inside of the Death Star even in episode 4, so you get to see little bits of it, but my goodness, look at this, all these clone trooper helmets. Used or unused, I'm not sure. But that's what's neat. That's what I think you don't get if you just watch the movies. There's something great about these interactive, parts of Star Wars.
Sounds like scrap rats. Creepy. Just passing through, guys. No need to come out and say hi this time.
Little inside concept there. We had to go through that little tight area so they could unload all of the stuff behind us and load all the things before us, most likely. So that's another part that is, tricky for video games.
Hey, Cal, I'll meet you at the clamps.
Sounds good. Be there soon.
Alright, now they're teaching me about how to drop down. Video games are tricky like that. Sometimes there's parts that you can't get through because your computer won't do it. Your computer will do some part of the game, but then it'll freeze up on the other times. There's no such thing as a movie that plays through the first half and the second half. It's like, oh, I can't. Oh, I'm too tired.
How'd you get here?
How'd you get here?
Alright. This time I see the rope, I know what I'm doing. Look at that, look how daring I am. I'm sorry if you were scared there. Oh, got another one of these troughs. Woo!
Look, the ship cutter is here.
Oh yeah, this is great. Watch this, watch this.
Hey, we should get moving. Yep, good looking out.
Kind of hard to see, sort of left in my head there. giant laser that they're using to cut off the entire wing of this Star Destroyer. And they're just gonna take it away. We don't need it in one piece anymore. We just want the scraps. Or do they even want the scraps? Maybe they're just creating busy work for people. Okay, I think it's gonna sit here until I go to the next area, maybe. I feel like I stood here for a real long time. I was like, what's this? Oh, is that a pile of battle droids? My goodness, pile of battle droids. Oh, look at this. This is the Republic gunship. Oh, it's one of my favorite things. When this came out, I was in high school. This is part of why I ended up going into graphic design, visual arts. These things came out of the sky. I was like, this is so cool. I want to go into movies or video games or something. Man, oh man. Loved that with these little weird orb cockpits and the side comes off there. The two cockpits up there. Love that stuff. Alright, where do I go next? Do you know you can't tell me? Oh, what? Okay, so I start climbing this. And that's when I just progress a little. Get through here. Oh my, it's another loading thing.
Hurry! We gotta finish before they start cutting this wing.
After me!
I'm working as fast as I can.
Oh, there's all the little tanks down there. Oh, here it is. See? Cutting off the wing. I just think that is awesome. And, you know, there wouldn't necessarily... If you put this in a movie, you'd have to do it as a quick little shot. You wouldn't be able to sort of stay and savor it. You got the little ATSTs down there. Or whichever, I don't know, that might be the Clone Wars version of them. But the ones you see in Return of the Jedi getting conked on the head, giant logs. You know, is that a Sarlacc down there? I don't know. I'm not that conversant. I'm not sure if that's a Sarlacc or just some other giant pit monster.
Cal, use the manual override lever below.
Got it. Your turn.
Hold on. All right, clamp secured.
Whoa.
You okay?
Still
A
here.
little bit terrifying. A little bit
Give me a
terrifying.
fright there, pal.
Done.
Hang on. I got this. We're done. Get out up here. Come take a look at this. It's a Jedi fighter. What a score! It's a real scrapper's payday. I mean, this heat's been here, what, 4 years?
5.
Whoever flew this went down in a blaze of glory. Those Jedi. Real tragedy. Yeah, I've always said they couldn't all be traitors.
Yeah, maybe.
Guess it's just our lucky day. Empire's gonna get a lot of good material out of it. Yep. Here we are, scrapping these ships from the war, just so they can turn around and make new ones. What a racket, huh? All of us risking our necks for the bosses. And the pay was better back during the Republic, too.
Hey, you really should watch what you say.
Listen to me. Find us free like this, it'll be your ticket off this soggy rock.
What makes you think I want out of here?
Come on, Cal, you're a young guy. You don't end up like me. Eventually, you gotta move on and live your life. Find your destiny.
Whatever you say. Hey, we should get back down.
You're not listening to me. What was that?
Rock! Don't let go!
I can't hold on!
Prop! No!
Here's the thing, they're making me do this. I'm the one who's using the Force to save him. They have him press a button
You okay,
to
bro?
use the Force.
I'm
It's
all
like,
right.
oh.
Just pinned down.
Pilot's gone! I'll get us out of here! Just hang on!
Watch out, Cal!
Look out!
This moment is just poor death for the main character. Lost his cover, had to use the Force. They make you use the Force, they make you do it, they put you through that. But they're also teaching the mechanics of the game. They're like, use the right bumper.
You all
That's
right?
the right one on the back. The right bumper and the right trigger is the one below you.
We gotta move, come on.
Hell happened? What was that back there? Was that you? What, that was the Force, wasn't it?
Just forget what you saw, okay? Please,
No,
trust
but
me.
I've seen the stories. I've heard it. There's
Prop.
bounties out on people
I
like
know! I know.
you. Yeah, all right. We need to be careful. Yeah.
So that was the video. Originally, when I made this, I was thinking I might play the entire video game and do commentary over the entire game. And as I said, I realized since then that's probably not likely. But I always want to show this to people. I think it's really, really neat to take something that I feel like, even if you don't watch Star Wars, you're probably familiar with the big triangle ships, the Star Destroyers. I think that's one of the iconic pieces of popular culture that people have seen. Maybe not as much as Darth Vader or Yoda or something, but I feel like it's part of our collective references. And I come from Dearborn, which is where the auto factories started. And we have museums to industry, huge Diego Rivera murals of people working together in pretty rough conditions to produce our vehicles. So when I play a game like this and it shows me the inside of these famous spaceships, but they make something very human and relatable, that they're built by people and they're torn down by people, that they don't just blink into existence, that enriches my life. That makes me glad that I play video games. I'm Noah Wizard. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to. It's going to be a kind of strange channel. I just don't have the energy to separate out all of the different things I need to talk about and put out into the world. Sometimes it'll be how-to videos. Sometimes it'll be video games. Sometimes it'll be mindset videos talking about thoughts and thought models and strategies and how to not be defeated by obstacles in your own head, or at least how I've grappled with the obstacles in my own head, my mind. And I think if you got to the end of this video and you liked hearing the things that come out of my brain, I think you will hopefully enjoy the other things I have to say, even if the format is different, since it won't be all playing games. It'll be a mishmash of stuff that goes into the life of somebody who's trying to take video games beyond what they've been before. All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye.